just would like to talk with you first about Valdai spirit. What did you expect before you were coming here, and what did you find when you came here? What do you think about Valdai spirit?
Well, I mean, I didn't really have any specific expectations, but the first meeting yesterday about where the world was going and how the new order was going to be shaped truly went beyond my imagination, let's say. It was a very open discussion. It was one that was thoughtful on the part of the participants, and I think we had a lot of food for thought as well. Some of the other panels were more Russia-oriented or Russia-centered, but today, again, it has opened up, and now we're talking more global. That shows that Russia is truly interested in being one of the shapers of the next world order. And it is important that they invite people who do not agree with the Russian official lines, and they're willing to listen to them and engage them in a discussion. So in that sense, if that is the Valdai spirit, I think it was very fulfilling.
What would you like to say about your topic as well?
My topic was migration and whether or not that would be a problem or a boon in the future. It is, of course, the thing is, this is not something that you can analyze only in terms of numbers and arithmetic. It has to be seen in the context of the world politics today. It is in order to discuss such a topic, you need to take into consideration climate change and urbanization and the inability of many states to actually govern the territories over which they rule. And for me, that picture necessitates a coordinated effort on the part of the great powers, developed countries, to invest heavily, not just economically, but invest heavily in the political development of many countries around the world. Otherwise, particularly Africa is going to present itself as a major quote-unquote threat for Europe in particular, in that its population will double in the next 25 years, and as Europe ages, and given there will be no sustenance as things are today in Africa, if that doesn't change, they will all try to go to Europe, and that will exacerbate the migration problem in Europe. It will turn it into an even more of an urgent security matter, and that will have an impact on the kind of rule the Europeans have, and they will move away more and more from a liberal democratic order.
So let's talk about a little about the region, especially Turkish-Russian relations about Syria, concerning Syria as well. What do you think about that? Last developments, are we more cooperating with Russia in the region?
I don't think Turkey is cooperating with Russia, but I guess Turkish intervention in Syria could not have been possible if the Russians did not give at least an amber light. What I've heard here, of course, suggests the Russians are not going to change their positions, and the Turkish authorities constantly repeat that they have not changed their positions. The Russians are not obviously as interested or as concerned about what Syrian Kurds affiliated with the PKK, the PYD, might do, but that, of course, for Turkey is a fixation almost. But so long as Turkey does not cross certain lines, I don't think the Russians will bother Turkey, and they will continue to agree to disagree. In Aleppo, of course, I find it rather sad that I suppose kind of like an informal quid pro quo, Turkey prefers to not raise the humanitarian issue concerning what happens in East Aleppo, and in return, I guess they had some kind of a free rein over what they could do in northern Syria. Red Cross representative was very important and indicative also for things to come, and that was, he said, whether we liked the content of it, whether it was moral, immoral, legal, illegal, that there was indeed a deal over refugees between Turkey and the European Union, and Turkey used that as leverage both to get money and maybe to exert from the Europeans some kind of material benefit. That may actually set a precedent with other countries. I'm not quite sure that it will set a precedent, because at the end of the day, Turkey does still have a functional state. Whereas in many other countries, they talked about Kenya, they talked about other African countries, you really would not have a state with a capacity to actually govern that kind of precarious situation.